In case you missed it, I discussed previously on TYT Sports Daniel Cormier and who he could potentially fight next, or what his best options are after being knocked out in the third round against Jon Jones. Speaking of, Jon Jones, now once again the light heavyweight champion, and he has said many times that he looked on Joe Rogan's podcast roughly about a year, if not longer ago, that he was going to clean out the division and make a run and a move up to heavyweight. Now, while this is somewhat controversial for some fellow UFC fighters like Jon Jones, it still seems imminent that a fight could happen, a mega fight, where he could get paid upwards of $2 million, if not way more. Now, I'm going to go over the options of what Jon Jones could potentially do from here, but just to touch real quick on the Cormier fight, Jon Jones looked good, but I still had him losing the first 2 rounds until Daniel Cormier did something that Greg Jackson, Jon Jones, and the rest of his team noticed that he would do, which is duck his head to Cormier's right, Jones's left, and it was just the perfect placement for a head kick. Down he went, and he finished him. In terms of the stoppage from Big John McCarthy, if it was too late, Francis Maxwell and Jason Rubin are going to discuss that a little bit later on the show, and also Joe Rogan interviewing a fighter who just got knocked out. Highly controversial. So the first option that Jon Jones has, and he said many times, is Brock fucking Lesnar. And we're going to hear this over and over and over again, probably until it happens, because Jon Jones wants to get paid, and he also wants to ensure his legacy within the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So here's this via MMAfighting.com, our good friends over there. The odds of Jon Jones facing Brock Lesnar, yes, minus 160, no, plus 120. So you're going to be making money, because I do believe this is going to happen. It all depends, of course, on if Brock Lesnar, his WWE contract expires next April. So he's due for WrestleMania 34, I believe. Yeah, WrestleMania 34 in April. And then he could potentially re-enter the drug testing pool, but it would take roughly 6 months. Jon Jones versus Brock Lesnar, the odds. Jon Jones minus 350. Brock Lesnar plus 265. And again, it says, odds only applicable if bout takes place before July 15th, 2018. Then the odds would change. So Jon Jones, a heavy favorite against Brock Lesnar. Should he be? Should Jon Jones be given this much respect, knowing that he would be giving up roughly 40 pounds in weight to a guy who, granted, has not had a notable win since 2011 because his fight against Mark Hunt was overturned to a no contest? Still, Jon Jones the favorite. At 40 years old, here is what Bones Jones had to say after his win. Brock Lesnar, looking straight into the camera. You want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by someone 40 pounds lighter? Meet me in the Octagon, which Brock Lesnar responded. Would I fight Jon Jones? Anytime, anywhere. When contacted again, Saturday night after Jones' challenge, Lesnar told the AP, be careful what you wish for, young man. Ooh, so now it's getting interesting. Dana White says, it's crazy. I don't know where that thing came from or how it started, but I haven't even talked to Brock Lesnar. I am telling you right now, I have not talked to Brock Lesnar, and that was 4 days ago. Whenever you have to say that many times, it's the opposite. So, has he talked to Brock Lesnar? I believe so, because there's too much money in the cards for this to potentially happen. But now, just an argument inside of this clip. Is this sort of stuff bad for the sport? I'm leaving it up to you guys. Here are the facts in favor and against. In favor of it being bad for the sport, Brock Lesnar, as I said, has not had a notable win since 2011. He tested positive for a banned substance against Mark Hunt, and he's bordering on 40. But, of course, he's a pay-per-view king. And this is aside from, in terms of pay-per-view kings, Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor. Brock Lesnar is up there, and whatever he does, money follows him at all times. The second is the example, and granted it was an anomaly, but of CM Punk fighting Mickey Gall, who was completely overmatched. We all sort of knew that, we didn't know that he was going to lose so quickly, but we did know that he was going to be in a world of hurt. However, Bones Jones, against it being bad for the sport, we're serious about it. I think it would be great for the MMA world, and it would definitely bring more general public to the sport of MMA, and that's what we need. We need to expand our sport. So why not be the guy who plays a role in that? Totally fair. And I do believe it is going to happen because, again, the money is too good, and Brock Lesnar coming in And Jon Jones, coming off the win that he just had, he's going to take some time off, and then he could potentially fight Brock Lesnar in just a mega fight where both guys would get paid, and you know who else would? WME, because man, do they need it right now. The pay-per-view numbers, even with Amanda Nunes and a few others, dropping out, of course, as the main event against Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. My opinion, they're lacking serious star power. Demetrius Johnson is a star that isn't promoted. There are a few fighters here and there who are on the up, but they need this. They need every humongous pay-per-view that they can. So if they have to throw a guy like Brock Lesnar in there, if he's willing, against a guy like Jon Jones, who is just thriving in uncomfortable situations, and even comfortable situations, he looked very comfortable on Saturday night, then yes, I do believe it'll happen. The second, and I take you to this tweet from Alexander Gustafsson. Congrats, champ. Stop asking for retired fighters. I've been waiting to put my hands on you, and so have all the fans. Damn. So Gus is ready. The last time they fought wasn't UFC 165. I believe it was September of 2013. And it was the greatest light heavyweight fight ever in the history of the sport. Why not do it again? A lot of people thought that Alexander Gustafsson won that fight. Some of the scorecards had him 1 round away from winning the fight. Yeah, we'd all love to see it. It depends on what Jon Jones wants to do, because now he has been, but it just cements his status of being the A side and everyone else being, in a way, the B side, because he has the pick of the litter between light heavyweight and where he wants to go. But I would love to see this fight once again. And goddamn, did Alexander Gustafsson look great against Glover Teixeira. And knowing that Manua lost to Ozdemir, this is the time that Alexander Gustafsson has propelled in the rankings and could also fight Jon Jones. The other, and this guy is a dear, dear friend to Daniel Cormier. And what better way for not necessarily the Cormier camp and his inner circle, but a great dear friend of his to get back at the guy that he could not beat. If Jon Jones goes to heavyweight, Cain Velasquez is certainly going to be discussed as a guy who should fight Jon Jones. Would Bones take it? Probably. As Cain being the number 3 contender, it would be a really, really interesting fight. But Jon Jones is just red hot. So any of the names that I throw up right now, you never really know. But it seems like he could beat them all. The last is Ozdemir, just because he beat Jimmy Manua, but he already said, you know, and I agree. Respect to Ozdemir, but he's not necessarily a pay-per-view name, at least as of yet, even though in the niche audience, the niche core fans of the UFC, he is certainly moving up the ranks. So those are my 3. Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, and if he wants to go and take another shot at light heavyweight and really sell a lot more pay-per-views and be more of a fan-friendly sort of pay-per-view because of the dominance that both of these guys share respectively with their set of skills, fight Alexander Gustafsson. Who would you like to see Jon Jones fight? Get at me on Twitter, @RickStrom, and subscribe to 2IG Sports.